Greetings. This is Nicholas Shephard from the Shephard Family Enterprise Business Administration Information System Consultants. Today on training day 6, I'm going to be discussing creating a strong organization design, hiring the right trainable personnel, creating goals for new trainees, setting standards that will keep your company moving forward, and reviewing your business associates for bringing on new clients and business members. Okay. The first thing I want to describe to you is that it's very important to create a strong organization design. And what I mean by this is that writing down exactly how you want your business to be structured. When I mean by structure, I'm talking about not something that is just a storefront type business, but a business that has some type of content, right? Some of us are afraid to jump into the future, but in starting a business, you have to have this imagination. You have to have the desire to say, you know what? I want my business to be a multi-million-dollar organization. And by thinking this way and designing your company to be a multi-million-dollar organization, it pushes you to fulfill these desires, okay, or your aspirations or dreams, however you want to put it. And the first thing I would basically say is that most young entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, the first thing they do, they say, okay, what I want to do is I'm gonna go and get assumed name, then I'm gonna file for my and see how that works out, okay. And if it works out and I make a little money, I go out and I get my LLC so I can start establishing my business and try to network with other people and incorporate other business into my business. Maybe I want to make my business grow. Okay. The second thing, most entrepreneurs, right, they're just starting out, they say, okay, well, I'm the president, I am the CEO. Now, once you have established that you are a CEO, okay, a president, then who is your vice president? Okay. If you don't have a vice president, you must design some type of guidelines for this position. What would the vice president responsibilities be? Okay. What would their tasks be? What were they obligated to be, and how would they be able to contribute to your organization? Okay. Once you establish this, and you have to be very honest with yourself and your business, okay, because you want your business to grow. You don't want someone to come in and just hang around or sitting around. You want them working, actively working with you to move your company forward. Because usually what happens when you first start your business and you have a young business and you say you're a CEO and you bring on like I say, a vice president or vice chair, these individuals would be first in line to be partners, right? If they are working hard enough, they're bringing in new clients, they are talking to people, they're communicating your business, you're getting calls, you're getting contracts, they're very proactive, right? Now, if they're not, and they're just basically a project-oriented type person, they say, okay, well, let me know what you want me to do, and then I'll do that. Okay, well, that's basically, I want to say a project manager's responsibility, right? What like a new company, the VP that you're bringing on board, even though they don't have any employees, that's irrelevant right now at this point. You're trying to establish something, whereas that once you bring on new employees, those employees will be trained in what you want because you already have the specifications, the guidelines for these individuals, and you quickly move them up to these different positions like director, okay, and you pick out your best ones, and you have to constantly train these individuals to fulfill the positions because you have a structured guideline what you want them to do in your company. And you move into these companies and you put demands on these individuals, right? And it's not saying that these individuals will stay with your company or anything like that, but you have to understand is that once they are in these positions, they must be able to look down and read what their tasks are and what their responsibilities are and what they are obligated to do to fulfill their part as being in that position every month. You must hold them responsible, and they must be held responsible for your growth of your company. And you have to push this. You may feel like, I don't want to be a jerk, this and that. Well, that's irrelevant, okay? You can't treat a person that's you bring into your company as if they are someone that's going to sit around and just get a paycheck. These are not the type of individuals you want associated in your company. The type of persons you want associated in your company are the individuals that you want to help you push your company forward to the new or the next level of success. And in order to do this, you must specify and write out the guidelines of each position that you structure your company to have. You have your vice president, you have your directors, right? You have your managers, you have your first line supervisors, you have your leads, you have your project managers, you have your security officers, you have your finance officer, you have your vice president of finance, you have your vice president of computer information systems. See, all these positions, use your imagination. Look at your business as being a multifaceted organization already in the making, because it's in your mind. You say, okay, I want to have a multi-million-dollar business. So you have to design your company to have this, so you have to design the structure so that when you start growing, all you have to do is put people in these positions. Now, once they get into the position, your company start growing, then they can outline what works for them and what best for your company, and then they can start writing out work rules and regulations for their position, and you task them to do that. Once they are working for your company and they're working with you, and you say, okay, now you know the specifications for this job, you know the directives, you know what we need in order to push this company forward. All right, you are very successful in what you're doing. What do you think we need as a tool so these other executive or manager level personnel must acquire in order to fulfill the obligations that I set for the company so that we can move our company forward? All right, because as you know, time is a virtue. You don't have a lot of time, right? You have 24 hours a day, which is not a lot of time. Through this, you must structure yourself to say, okay, I'm going to get up at 6. I'm going to design a report. These are things I must acquire. These are phone calls I have to make. These are people I have to talk to. These are the results I want. This is where I need to be tomorrow. Okay. You have to do that. Once this is structured, once you set in your mind that this is your goal from day to day, and it could be anything you want, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but you must set something out, and you must have a standard and how you're going to push yourself further and further into the future to obtain the goals that you want as a business leader and an owner. Now, some people may say, well, I don't want my company to be this big. I just want something to, I just want to make $100,000, $200,000 a year. Well, thinking at that low level, right? You will never make $100,000 and $200,000 a year. Most successful people think in the millions, right? And they acquired $100,000, $200,000 a year. You understand what I'm talking about? They don't think like, well, I'm going to make, as long as I make like $1,000 a month, then I'm okay, and then I'll move on. I think that'll help me because that helped me sustain what I'm doing right now. No, you cannot think that way, okay? You cannot think as though this is it. This is where I want to be right now, and I would like to move forward faster within 2 to 3 years. This is where I want to be. I want to have the $1 million paycheck. I want to have the $1 million contracts. I want to have very proactive, very great personnel working with me to move my company forward. This is the type of attitude you have to have in order to move your company forward. Now, is this going to be difficult? Yes, it is. When you're starting your company out in the beginning, right? You have to structure some type of training guideline. Okay, you have to say, okay, this is the training guideline for every people coming in new in the company. This is what they must know. They must know my ambition. They must know my vision. They must know my goals. And they're supposed to be able to regurgitate that information back to you. Now, you could say, okay, this training is going to be 6 weeks, right? You don't have to be all day. It can be like 1 hour a day, once a week for 6 weeks, right? But the training have to extend itself to give the individuals time to be able to learn the material that you already created, so that these individuals will be proficient in your vision, right? I created that. Now I have what I described to you before is a Shephard Family Enterprise LLC science and business structure. Okay, let me make sure that's right. Okay, because I know I'm always I'm doing a lot of different things. It's Shephard Family Enterprise Business Science and Structure, and in this structure, what I have is I have a table of contents, right? And what I have here, which I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this, but it states that the purpose of this the purpose for this writing is to compose a structured family outline of how the Shephard Family Enterprise LLC Business Administration Information System Consultants will be composed at an inner family structure, and how it is to be composed as a business within these guidelines. So all that means that my business is a family business, right? And I want to set it up I have set it up where it's that it can be passed down from air to air. I don't have to worry about, well, okay, once I get to this point, okay, who's the business going to go to? It's going to be already established in my business science and structure, right? I'm creating this. You have to create the same thing, okay? And the next thing is how you're going to revise and update this document, right? And then you must have some type of term as far as your ideal, right? How do you think? And then list a definition for that. It can be a structured definition or your own definition. It doesn't make a difference. But they must understand, and you must understand, what is that word, right, that symbolizes your train of thought, your thought pattern, right? Okay, then I have here the business association structure and meanings, and I have a list of a lot of different things like associate representatives or business partners. I have the different levels of associate representatives, what the responsibilities are, and it's a lot of information, right? And it's a working document. It's something that I am consistently improving and adding to every day. I'm not just saying, okay, this is it, this is good enough, no. I may work on it today and then sit on it tomorrow, the next day, and I go back and I work on it, because as you interact with people and you talk to people, you come up with new ideas, right? And as you come up with new ideas or interpretations of how people is going to contribute to your business. Give an example. Okay, let's say you hire in a new person, okay, and this new person that you hire into your company at the beginning stage, you're going to say, okay, you're going to be associate representative, right? And in this position, this will be your test. It doesn't matter what that person's professional studies are, anything like that. This is where they're starting, right? And then as they move up and as they learn more about your company, they move into positions that you feel that they qualified, okay? And that's based on their education, right? Or their ability to do the job. Or they can implement what they already know into the position that they have. And that's how you grow your business, right? You pulling in ideals from these individuals at these different levels, and you're training them to be able to use those ideals to make your company grow. Okay? All right. And I have a lot of other lists of things that I have here. Like I said, direct representative meetings. I have with the different levels of direct representatives, and I have associated entities, and what did that mean? Who would be associated entity? Um, um, it's different things. There's a lot of commitments, right, that you must structure to ensure that the individuals that you bring on board are dedicated to your organization. Okay. Then you have your business partners, right? Now, to be a business partner, you can't say, okay, I would like you to be a business partner. No, you don't say that. What you need someone that's going to be obligated, right? Or be what I'm looking at, have a loyalty to your organization, right? You want them to say, okay, well, in order for you to be a business partner, these are the standards. This is what I'm looking for in a business partner, right? I'm not talking about a business partner like they have to work for your company. A business partner could have his own company, but he pitch you work, pitch you contracts, pitch you connections, right? That's making you money or is bringing in revenue to your company. You can say, okay, I would like to know if we can, you can be a business partner, right? But there can be different levels of business partners. I have 7 different levels of business partners, right, that I have listed out. Okay, and each level it can be intercompany or outside the company, right? And these different levels is based on the revenue that they contributing into my company. All right, you can't just be a business partner. So I'm a business partner. I put, I gave you $300, or $500, $1,000, $2,000. Well, then you a business partner level this. Okay. You can't be a business partner level 7 or 8 or whatever you may describe in your company, because in order to be in these positions, we already wrote out exactly what their obligations are. You have not even fulfilled these obligations even to be this, right? So, and these type of things they must understand. And then you give these outlines, these guidelines to the individual so they have a clear cut understanding who they are in their position, right? Okay. Then you have to understand the next thing it is basically creating, like I said, you create goals for you have to create goals for new trainees, and that's like through training. You're setting standards that will keep your company moving forward, right? And rewarding your business associates for bringing on new clients and business members. And that means that let's assume that this business associate, right, or representative, or your associated representative, go out there and get you a contract, right? Let's say the contract is $1,000, right? The contract is held for 3 months. It can be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. And let's say they got $1,000, right? You have to reward that trainee or that person, okay, a commission on that part of monies that you acquire into your company. That gives them the motivation to go out and get more clients. And the more clients they help you get, the more money they get, then you move them up, right, into your company until the point where they are supervisors, right? Where they're salary workers, where you're paying them the money until you can make them a consultant in your company. Well, that's in my company, right? Once they get to a certain level, they become a consultant in my company because they have went through the groundwork, they did the footwork, they talked to people, they had the connections, they closed deals, they brought in people. Now they're consultant. They are qualified to go out and represent my business, the Shephard Enterprise and Business Administration Information System Consultants, in a way whereas that they can bring on clients, right? Get them in the door. All right. Okay. So that's the main thing. All right. So the next thing is, you have to let individuals know, right, who they are. Okay. Who they are. Now, that is, basically in a nutshell, right? What you need to do right now as an entrepreneur. All right. Once this is established, I think you'll do fine. Right. Again, if you want to work with me, you can go on my website at www.shephardfamilyenterprise.com, and then I can assist you and work with you to structure your organization so that you can be successful, and then you can move your organization forward. Okay. This is Nicholas Shephard of the Shephard Family Enterprise LLC, Business Administration Information Systems. Thank you very much.